going to talk about
why should W E we S T U D study D I disabilities or disability studies and not J U just or JUS T just S T U just study disability? That's a good question. And like at the beginning of the semester, I was a little confused on the difference. But I think this class really, like, it just brings in so many different perspectives, and you really get to understand, like, how complex these problems are, because you get to view it from, you know, the law side and, you know, the more personal, like, side of the issues, and just like society and how they view it. And I think it's really important to study all those aspects, because these are really, really complex issues that affect so many different fields of society. And I think it's really vital, if we want to change the way that society views disability, to understand all aspects of it. E X C E. Excellent. I don't want to put words in your mouth.
I think it's just more of just having a full aspect of all the disabilities, because I think a lot of people, they don't really go in detail of all the disabilities and how it affects the person in their life every single day. Like, I know it's really easy. Like, last semester I took ESE 380, and so I knew, you know, a lot of the disabilities and what their conditions were and what their symptoms were, but I think a lot of people, that's all they know. They don't know how it affects the person day to day, and I think it's really hard if you don't have first-hand experience. It's hard for anyone to know that, not even just in a disability aspect, but in anything. And so it's nice for me to know, by going through this class, just knowing how disabilities affect people depending on the disability, how it affects them day to day by work, school, transportation, anything. And it's nice to know how that affects them.
So disability studies versus disability. You know, that I'm still like trying to figure out the difference between that, because it's still like I haven't really figured out like what exactly disability study is and like studying disability. Like I know T R try. Why is it important to study disability studies? Because it teaches you more than just like the biomedical model. Like it looks at it from all the different perspectives, and it tells you how to live with these just alterations, you know, and like how people, like the environment can, like how just like your whole surrounding, like it teaches us from so many different perspectives, and like understanding, and like it's not just one thing, like this is what it is, this is the effects, like we said, you know, like it just kind of, it's just a universal learning. Like it teaches like all different kinds of people in different ways about different things. So that's kind of how I view it.
Oh, the difference between, disability and disability studies. Well, I mean, like we talked about, disability studies is an interdisciplinary study, I guess. it just makes much more sense to study, not just look at it like an event, almost like you would. Like if you look at history, you just look at an event. You don't always analyze it. I feel like with disability studies, you're looking at this culture and then looking at how it interacts with so many other things and so many other parts of what we consider day-to-day culture and whatnot. And there's studies in schooling and way of life and employment, and there's just so many aspects that disability studies covers more, which is just so much more involved. It makes more sense to me.
I am going to talk about
Can you see O M P A R compare?
The speech device, for me, was a little difficult to fully understand. It's easier for me personally to learn from your table letters.
Well, I think that, I think either one is totally fine. That one definitely sounds like an airport voice, though. Like, it seriously does. Because I was at the airport, right after that happened, and I was like, oh my gosh, it sounds like that's actually. I think that that one's good, but I think this one is better because you can then, you don't have to program, so when people say different things and you want to respond differently, you don't have to program 400 things for that, depending on how people answer questions. And having it up there helps. Because sometimes, if I don't look at that and I'm just listening to John, I sometimes lose track. So it helps to have that up there. I think this is easier.
Do you type? I am, or you use my eyes.
You didn't know that about that device?
No.
It's called an ECOpoint, where the infrared signal reads his eyes, which turns it back into a QWERTY keyboard on there. So he has to type by looking at the letter.
I don't know, the one-on-one is pretty helpful. It opens up, or breaks down even more walls that we put up.
You gotta, the bicycle helmet clip.
Oh wow! Your hair's so short. I thought it was longer than that because I can see it stick out through the helmet sometimes.